Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of the 3 by the Sea Designs podcast. My name is Kim and I am part of the 3 by the Sea Designs team along with my mom Dreama and my sister Becky. We have a shop where we sell handmade items for knitters and crocheters. We sell handmade project bags, stitch markers, and hand-dyed yarn. So welcome to episode 21. Thank you for joining me. We have lots to talk about today, so let's go ahead and get started. Today is Monday, December 26th. So Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy Holidays to all of you. And I hope that you all enjoyed this holiday season and are continuing to enjoy it. And I know I did. We had such a nice, relaxing time. I'll talk a little bit more about the holidays later and I'll show some Vlogmas footage at the end like I did on the last episode. Thank you again for joining me, and if you're new, a big welcome to you and thanks for checking out the podcast. And if you're a returning viewer, a loyal subscriber, thank you so much for subscribing. And it has been such a fun year doing this podcast. I started it back in January and I didn't really know what to expect. It was really just a fun way for me to document the things that I was working on and also share with you things that are going on in our shop. So it has become such a fun thing to do and I really enjoy it. And thank you all so much. We have exceeded my expectations on the number of subscribers. I can't wait to hit that 1,000 subscriber mark. And I was really hoping in December that it would push to 1,000, but I was like, no, it'll happen when it happens, and I'm not even really worried about it. But just to have the amount that we have is, which is I think almost like 800, it's so amazing to know that and to know that you guys all watch this podcast and that you enjoy it. And we get such lovely comments and messages and feedback from you. So a huge thank you all to a wonderful 2022 year of podcasting. And I hope to continue this for 2023. And there's some more things that we would like to add to the podcast as well. I'm hoping to get my mom and my sister on here as well sometime. I think that would be so much fun for us to sit and chat together and for them to show what they're working on as well. So we will see what 2022 has in store for us. We will see what 2023 has in store for us, not 2022. So grab a project, grab a coffee or something warm to drink. I am drinking some coffee out of my brand new mug that my daughter gave me for Christmas. It says knitting keeps me from unraveling, and it's in the shape of a skein of yarn. It's so cute. I have some toasted coconut flavored coffee. This is the box that the coffee cup or the mug came in. And it says on the bottom, in case anyone is interested, it says boxergifts.com. I think she said she bought it on Amazon, but I just wanted to show you the box and what it looked like. She said they came in different colors. Look how cute that is. I need to cut that out and put it somewhere. But I was really happy with the gift she got me. I'll show you some of my other gifts that I got for Christmas as well, because quite a few of them are knitting and fiber related. It has been very cold here the last few days. I think that for the last 2 nights, it has gotten below freezing both nights, which is has not happened in a very long time. I've had to have the heater on constantly for the last few days, but it's been very nice because we have not had a cold Christmas like this in I don't even know how long. It's been so enjoyable and it made it so much more festive, and I've just been really enjoying the weather. Now it has been freezing. I've been wearing all of my hand knits on Christmas Eve. I got to wear my hat and my cowl that I made last year with my Advent. This yarn is from my Murray Woolgoods Advent that I made last year, and this pattern is the Scattering Petals Cowl by Dana Ray Makes. And it was so fun to get to wear it, and my hat as well, the same named the Scattering Petals hat. And I got Murray Woolgoods Advent again this year, and I really enjoyed opening that as well. I will show it to you towards the end when I show you some vlog footage. So let's talk about a little bit of shop news. We are currently in the shop is our end of the year sale that we do every year. The entire shop is on sale. So stitch markers and progress keepers are all 25% off. And then everything else is 10% off, including bags, yarn, my sock pattern. Everything is on sale, the entire shop. So if there was something that you missed in our last update and it's still available, go take a look. Things are dwindling down for inventory. So take advantage of the sale while you can. It will be running through the end of this year. And I think we will close it down on January 1st, the sale. We also have something really fun coming to the shop on Wednesday. We are putting up a new mystery sock set pre-order. And the last pre-order that we had for our mystery sock set was a Charlie Brown Christmas. We called it Good Grief, It's Christmas. It was a full skein of fingering weight yarn and a 20-gram mini that coordinated. And I'll pop a picture up of it here of what it looked like. I showed it on the last episode as well, but as a reminder, I'll show you what it looked like. And this time we thought, because you guys loved the Charlie Brown theme, we thought it would be so fun to do a Charlie Brown Valentine's Day mystery sock set. So this next pre-order is gonna be called Be My Valentine Chuck. And it is going to be, I'll put the picture up here of our inspiration for the yarn. It's also going to be a fingering weight full skein and a 20-gram mini that coordinates. So we're going to put that up on Wednesday the 28th, and it will ship out to you on at the end of January. So you'll have it right in time for some Valentine's Day knitting. So that's going to be so fun. We're so excited about it. And like I said, you guys really loved the Charlie Brown Christmas one. And we've already gotten we teased it in our stories on Instagram, and we've already gotten some really good feedback for this one as well. So mark your calendars for that. On Wednesday, we'll blast it all over Facebook and Instagram just as a reminder to you. And that will be up in our shop until it's sold out. And again, it will ship at the end of January. One other tidbit of information on shop news. We are planning to do our next major shop update in March. It will be for our spring collection. We will have new project bags, new yarn, and new stitch markers and progress keepers. There will be some in-between things between now and March. In January and February, we will add a few things here and there to the shop, but our next major update will be sometime probably towards the beginning of March. And we are so excited to bring you a brand new collection of spring themed and spring inspired yarn and stitch markers and project bags. I do have one finished object, but I don't have it here to show you. It was the the fall scrappy socks that I've been working on for the last couple of months. I've been showing them on the last episodes, and I will put a picture up of them here. I forgot to take a picture of them actually before I gifted them, because I gave them to my mom for Christmas. But I texted her and I'm like, hey, can you send me a picture of the socks? Take a picture of them. So I will put a picture up of it here of what they looked like as a finished object. I used all of my Row 1 10-gram minis that I get from my Row 1 subscription, and there ended up being 18 different colors. I used the The pattern I used was the String of Lights pattern by Witchery, and every 10 rows I changed colors. Even on the cuff, I started, so there were 20 rounds on the cuff, and then every 10 rows I switched colors. I used a different color for the heels as well as for the toes. So there ended up being 18 beautiful fall colors. And my mom loves like earth tones and fall type colors, so I knew those would be perfect for her, and she absolutely loved them. So that was my one finished object for this episode, and I have lots of fun whips to show you and some new cast-ons as well. So the first work in progress, which is what we call whips, is my all bundled up socks. I think I showed these on the last episode as a half finished object, I think, because I had finished one of the socks. I don't know if that's right, but I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, this is our all bundled up colorway that we came out with for our winter collection. So that was the first one, all finished. And I started the second one. And here's what it looks like. So I've got the cuff all done, and I've done about 20 rows or so on the leg. These are just a plain vanilla sock. I did the pop of color at the top of the cuff that the crazy sock lady does. And it just adds like a really fun bit of color to them. If you don't want to use if you don't want the cuff to be all of the contrast color, or you're afraid that you're not going to have enough yarn to do both heels, toes, and cuffs, then it's nice to just add that little bit of color to the top of them. So this has been a really fun knit to work on, and it's very relaxing. I can take it with me in the car, or just pick it up whenever, because it's just plain vanilla. I did do a slip stitch heel flap and gusset, and I added a few rows of that color down at the bottom as well. So I'm chugging along on this one. I'm using ChowGoo shorties, the 9-inch circulars, and I go back and forth between size 1 and size 1.5, the US 1 or the US 1.5, which is 2.25 millimeters or 2.5 millimeters. It just depends on what I have available to use. Both sizes fit me very well and I like the fabric in both of them. Usually for a plain vanilla sock, I do go down to the US 1s, but these must have been the ones that I had available to use, so that's why I'm using the 1.5s on these. Either size works well for me, I think. This is the yarn that I'm using. This is our all bundled up colorway. I don't know if we still have any of this in the shop. I think we may have a couple of skeins left in the fingering weight, I think. And that contrast color that I'm using, that pinky purple color, this was actually from our, back in October for Halloween, we did a mini skein set, and this is the purple from the mini skein set, the Candy Cauldron set, in case anyone got that and wants to use it with their all bundled up. It matches really well. I have this in this really cute Christmas drawstring project bag that was gifted to me in a Christmas gift exchange, like a knitting gift exchange a few years ago. The tag on it says "So Happy Creative," and I was paired with a girl that lives in England, and this was the project bag that she gave me, and I absolutely love it. It's perfect for socks. The rest of my whips, I think, are brand new cast-ons. Let me just double check. Yes, I have I have 3 new cast-ons since I last podcasted. I had talked about making the anthology throw with my advent from this year, with one of my advents, because I got 2. I had talked about making a Christmas blanket with my Murray Woolgoods advent because it was very Christmassy looking inspired yarn, and it was also fingering weight, which is what the anthology throw calls for. However, I started thinking about it and I was like, I kind of wanted a blanket that I could put out all year long and that I wouldn't just use at Christmas time. I do still want to make a Christmas blanket, and that is my plans with my Murray Woolgoods advent from this year, is to make a Christmas blanket. I might make the habitation throw with that one, but I decided to use my Hue Loco advent this year for my anthology throw. Now, the Hue Loco advent that I got is a fade, and it's DK weight. So I knew there was going to be some differences that I had to contend with. So let me grab it. Okay, so since it was fingering weight, and it called for, I want to say a size 6 needle. Let me show you what the pattern looks like. This is the Anthology Throw by Helen Stewart, which is Curious Handmade. And it's designed to use mini skeins. Specifically, I guess, your advents, but you could use scraps or you could use just any mini skeins that you have. And it does call for a different needle size than what I used because I used DK weight. I think I ended up going with a size 8. Yes, so I used a US 8, which is a 5mm needle, and this is how it looks so far. Now, my advent was like I said, a fade, and it was called the Vista Fade Advent. It's very hard to show it because of how big it is. And it doesn't, my needles, even though I'm using a 60-inch cord, it doesn't stretch out all the way enough. But this is how it's going so far. So for the anthology throw, you start at the center and it's worked in a circle. So you're working in the round. And the fade, the colors are just absolutely gorgeous in this advent. I have determined that I will probably get a Hue Loco advent calendar every year. I love Hue Loco's yarn. I love her color choices. It's always, everything she puts out is absolutely beautiful. But this was my first year getting her advent, and I'm hooked for life. I will probably get her advent every year. So I'm just knitting. I'm not stopping. Like when I get to a new section, I am attaching each mini. When I get to the end, I'm immediately attaching it to the next mini, and I'm just using a magic knot. So let me find one so you can see what it looks like. So that is what the magic knot looks like. And I'm thinking about at the end going back and using that fray check stuff or that glue stuff that you can use on each knot, just so I know that they're not going to come out. I mean, I've never had any issues with magic knots coming apart, but there's tutorials on YouTube all over the place on how to make a magic knot. But I love it, love it, love it. It's so squishy and soft, and I just think it's gonna be so pretty laid out on my couch or maybe even on my bed in my bedroom, and I'm very, very, very happy with it. Now, because this is DK weight, I'm a few days behind. I'm about 5 or 6 days behind on my advent. I think this might be day 20 or day 19 actually. And because it's DK weight, I don't think I'm gonna get to the very end without running out of yarn. Now, my Advent did come with a 50-gram skein that I can use for the border at the end. So I think I'm just gonna go until I run out of yarn, until I run out of minis, and then evaluate, do I immediately skip to the border section of the pattern and just start that? I'm not sure yet, but I'm not really worried about it. It's already big enough for me to have as a throw blanket. So adding the next 5 days plus the 50 grams of border, I think will be plenty big for me. If I do make this again though, I would probably use a fingering weight yarn and make it just like the pattern called for, but you can totally make it with a DK weight as well. You just go up in the needle size and it's fine. So I can't wait to get it finished. I got a few days behind because of Christmas Eve and Christmas, and just everything's so busy during those few days. So my plan is over the next few days to get caught up and then figure out what I want to do for the border. So that's my Anthology throw. I'm absolutely loving it. I am using Chalgu needles. I had to order some needles. They are size 8s. I think I said that. And I got a 60-inch cord. You don't start off with that, obviously. I had to start off with a smaller, I think like maybe 24-inch cord. But it quickly got too big. Right now there's like over 500 stitches on this needle, on this cord. So, loving this. I have really enjoyed working on it every day during Advent season. All right, so my next work in progress is a pair of socks. I started these on Christmas Eve morning, and I have them in this super cute project bag that my mom made for me 2 or 3 years ago. Look at the drawstrings that she used. This is one of my all-time favorite bags. I love it. And I'm using a yarn by Little Bean Loves Yarn. I think that's the name of it. So this is a yarn that my mom gave me probably like a year ago when she went through all of her yarn and did some destashing. It says Little Bean Loves. And the colorway is called Peppermint Swirl. It's a 80-10-10 superwash merino cashmere nylon. And it looks like this. So half the skein, when I opened it up and looked at the yarn, half the skein is this white undyed section, and the other half was a mix of like pinks and reds. So I knew immediately that this had to be socks because I knew it was going to do a striping effect based on how the yarn looked or how the yarn was dyed. And I did use a contrast color. Let me show you that as well. And this was from an Advent that I got a couple of years ago from Bigfoot Fibers. And it's just a sparkly, I think it's a Lurex. And it was just one of the minis in her Advent. And it didn't have a tag. Well, actually, it did have a tag. It was called, where's the tag? It was her Super Sparkle Sock, 20 grams, and it was called, the colorway name was You'll Shoot Your Eye Out. So these are my 2 colors that I'm using. I thought those looked really cute together. And I'm making the heel toe do-si-do socks by the Crazy Sock Lady. And I literally like cannot put this sock down. And this is why. Look how adorable. And like I said, I knew based on the way the yarn was dyed that it was going to do this striping effect. Now, it will not always do this effect if you're knitting something with a bigger circumference, like a hat or a sweater. I don't know how it'll look in something like that, but I know in socks, it's almost always going to have this really cute striping effect. And I have one of our sweet little gingerbread girls as my progress keeper. We do have some of those in the shop. And this pattern is really fun. It's, like I said, the heel toe do-si-dos pattern by the Crazy Sock Lady. And it lends itself really well to this type of yarn. I mean, that pattern looks good with any kind of yarn, really, but it looks really super cute to me with self-striping or with a type of striping like this. So I've already done the whole leg. I finished the heel last night. Or no, did I do it last night or this morning? I can't remember, but I finished the heel and I'm on my decreases for the gusset. And I just love it, love it, love it. It's Christmassy, but not like super Christmassy, so I can wear these any time of the year. And I'm really, really, really happy with how it's going. Like I said, it's super addicting. The pattern's easy to memorize. And I think the Stellina mini looks really, really cute with it. So if you have Stellina minis or you have a big skein of something with Stellina in it, it doesn't necessarily have to have, like, you can mix, you know, non-Stellina yarn with Stellina yarn and it looks really cute together, in my opinion. So that is my new sock project. I did start because, you know, I keep hearing people say that, especially Kay from the Crazy Sock Lady, she says, immediately start your, like, once you've finished your first sock, in order to avoid second sock syndrome, immediately cast on your second sock. That way you can just pick right up and start knitting your second sock. Sometimes I do get second sock syndrome, and not too often, but sometimes I do. So I went ahead and started the second sock, and I just went ahead, I cast on and did my 3 rounds of the contrast color. So when I'm finished with this sock, I can immediately pick this up and start working on the second one. So I did want to mention that to you. This sock I am using size 1, which is a 2.25 millimeter needle. Okay, so my last whip, I have a confession to make. I frogged my sweater that I was making. Do you guys remember the Radvent cardigan? I talked about it. Okay, first of all, I started the Radvent cardigan last February. So it was coming up on a year and I still hadn't finished it. I was over halfway done. Well, yeah, a little over halfway done. And I even talked about it on an episode, a couple episodes back. And I just, you know, every time I looked at it, I was like, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, but I frogged it. I frogged it. And to be honest with you, I feel so much better after having done that. If you're making something and it's not making you happy, or you have hesitations about it, or it's just yarn, it's just yarn. And I know I put a lot of time into it, and I enjoyed it while I was making it, but I started to not enjoy it. And I started, once it kept getting bigger, I kept thinking, am I gonna wear this way? Am I gonna wear it? Am I gonna wear it? And I kept asking myself that. And I was like, I don't know that I am. So I frogged it. And I immediately, because I knew that this yarn was meant to be something else. I guess that's what it was. I frogged it, and since I was holding it double with Surrey, I kept it double. So I had 2 giant cakes like this. And since they're already held double and I knew I wanted to use them both held double like in something else, I went ahead and caked them this way. That way I don't have to hold the 2 strands separately. So I'm making a love note sweater by Tin Can Knits. Let me show you what it looks like. This is the pattern, the love note by Tin Can Knits. And this is the cropped version. I'm not gonna make the cropped version. I'm gonna make it quite a bit longer, I think, because I just want it to be a long, sort of drapey sweater. I don't really like them cropped like that. I mean, I think that looks cute with the dress, but I'm gonna make mine longer. Okay, so I love this pattern. I love it, love it, love it. And I think this is what I was meant to make with this yarn. The yarn I dyed last year, or maybe even the year before. It's a fingering weight and a Surrey alpaca silk blend held double. And this is what I have so far. The way that you start this, it is top down, but you start with a provisional cast on, which is why I have this contrast color yarn at the top. It's very easy to do a provisional cast on. It seems kind of intimidating at first, but it's not hard to do at all. So you start with a provisional cast on because at the end, you're gonna go back and pick up the stitches for your neckline. So you start with the provisional cast on and you do the yoke, and it's a lace work section with this beautiful lace. You use a pretty big needle. I want to say these are size 10 needles. Let me look. I'm using, yes, you use a US 10, which is a 6mm. I'm using these Knitter's Pride bamboo needles that I got at Hobby Lobby. At the time, I didn't have any, when I cast this on, I didn't have any size 10s except for those. But I actually love the wooden, I love wooden needles anyway. So this is the size needles that I'm using. These are Coco Knits stitch stoppers, which are really nice to have. And I'm loving it. I really, really, really enjoyed the lace section of this. I'm through the lace section now, and I have gotten to the point now where I have to split for the sleeves. After the lace section, you do some increases, some raglan increases. So that's what I just finished. And now I'm setting it up to split for the sleeves and finish the rest of the body, which I think is just a plain knit. So it looks kind of funny right now because of this, the way that the top is, but it's so soft and it's gonna be so gorgeous as a love note. I really feel like I made the right decision by frogging the other sweater. I would love to make the Radvent cardigan, because I think the Radvent cardigan calls for fingering weight yarn, because it was meant for as an advent project and you can stripe them, which I probably wouldn't do it that way. I would probably just do all one color if I do make the Radvent again. But I just feel like this was a much better choice for me, and I don't regret it at all, one bit, frogging that sweater. So that is where I'm at with that. I really, really love it, and I can't wait to, I think you go back at the very end and do the top. So this is gonna be a gorgeous, gorgeous piece to have in my wardrobe. So that's it for my whips, and I do have, when I finish my all bundled up socks, I'm going to cast on a new pair of socks. I want to make the candy cane stripes socks. My mom bought me the pattern, the new one from the Crazy Sock Lady. I want to make those socks, and I have some yarn already set aside for them. Let me grab it. I'll put up a picture here of what the pattern looks like from the Crazy Sock Lady. I have, I think I'm going to use an undyed skein of yarn for the main color. And we had a couple of gold stellina skeins left over from our last update. So I may steal one of these from our inventory and use this. It's a gold stellina. So I may use this for the main color, and I'm either going to use, because the pattern calls for 5 20-gram minis to use as your contrast colors for the striped section. So I have these that I got, my friend Kelly gifted these to me, I want to say last Valentine's Day, and I'm pretty sure they're from Llama Lovejoy. It's just a bouquet of beautiful reds and pinks, and I thought these would be cute as the candy canes. There's not a lot of contrast between them though, so if I don't go that route, I have some minis from my advent from last year from Rose Hill Yarns that I did not use these yet. So this was my advent from Rose Hill, and I don't know if I've ever shown these on the podcast. I think I did at the very, very, very beginning. But there's some really pretty contrast colors that I could use. Whoops. For the stripes. So I don't know. They're not really traditional like candy cane colors. I mean, some of them are. I guess I could use, there's a pink one. There's some reds and purples. So I may play around with some color combinations from these and use these as the contrasts. I'm dropping everything. I may use some of these colors as my contrast, or I may just pick some of these and use these as the contrasts and just make them like red and white, although that would look very similar to my other socks that I'm making. So I may throw in some other colors actually, now that I'm thinking about it. But that's my future plans, and this is the yarn I'm going to use, either the Rose Hill yarns or that little bouquet of yarns for the contrast colors. Other than that, I don't really have any immediate plans for any cast-ons, because in January, towards the beginning of January, I will do an evaluation of everything that I have left that's on the needles, so I can kind of use January to wrap up things that I've been knitting from 2022 and kind of start fresh in February for next year's knitting plans. I have to do some sort of planning and organizing on what I want to make in 2023, and I feel like I need to do that soon. And I'll podcast about it. The only thing I have left to talk about is some Happy Meal. Well, it's not really, it's our Happy Meal segment, but it's Christmas gifts that I was given. So let me show you some of those. I did show you my mug already, the Knitting Keeps Me From Unraveling mug. And let's see, what else? Every year for Christmas, my mom and my sisters and we do a stocking gift exchange. So I have 3 sisters. So there's 5 of us, my mom and the 4 daughters. And we do a stocking exchange where we get, you know, 3 or 4 small gifts for each other's stockings. And then on Christmas Eve, we all either give it to each other's significant others, or we just, you know, hand them a bag and say, put these in your stocking. So we act sort of as each other's Santas for the stockings. So this year in my stocking, my mom gave me 2 washcloths that she made. And they're so pretty. So there's this one. I don't know what the pattern is for these, but I'll ask her, and if there is one, I will try to have it in the description below. So she gave me 2 really pretty cotton washcloths, which I was surprised that I got these, because she said she didn't make anything for anybody this year, but maybe she had these left over from earlier in the year. I'm not sure. So I got 2 washcloths, and I got this really cool soap. It's called West Virginia Wild Mountain Soap Company. It's handcrafted, and it's cranberry spice, and it smells so good. I'll show you what the bar looks like. It's beautiful. Something super cute that my daughter gave me, my daughter knows me very well, is this sign. I don't know where she got it from, but I'll ask her and see if I can link it. But look how cute this is. If I'm sitting, I'm knitting. And it's just this tin sign that I can put in either the dye studio or maybe near my yarn stash or something. I don't know, but I just thought it was absolutely so, so cute. So my daughter gave me that. Becky gave me one of our mini project bags. This was one that we had in the shop. Mickey Mouse at Christmas time. And she gave me these really cool scissors that she said she uses a lot. So that was nice of her. And then my mom gave me, and I was completely blown away, she gave me like a really cool gift. Let me grab it. Okay, so the last gift that I received that I'm gonna show you I was so blown away by this. My mom got me a set of interchangeable needles. They are the, you pronounce this Luca, and they are a set of wooden interchangeable needles. It comes with 12 pairs in this beautiful case. And they look like this. So gorgeous. I'm so excited to use these. I love it. Inside here is all of the cords and the stoppers and the all of the keys and accessories that come with it. And Luca is actually a Norwegian word for happiness. I thought that was kind of cool. I looked that up because I wasn't sure how to pronounce this, but it's Luca is how you pronounce it. So it comes with 12 pairs, US 4 all the way to US 17. So US 4 is 3.5 millimeters all the way to US 17, which is 12 millimeters. It comes with 2 cords, 24 inch, 2 cords, 32 inch, and 1 cord, 40 inch. So I'm so excited to use these. They're birchwood knitting needles. I love it, love it, love it. I've been wanting an interchangeable needle set for a very long time. So thank you so much, Mom. I love it. Best present ever. All right, so I think that is it for all of the content for today. I am gonna pop in a little bit of Vlogmas footage that I got. I didn't do like a traditional daily Vlogmas this year. I am gonna do one next year, but I just didn't have time to plan it all properly this year. But I did take snippets of me opening my advents and kind of like what I showed on the last episode. So I will show you some of that now, and I'm gonna go ahead and say goodbye to you all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your holiday season. Enjoy. I know a lot of people are off this time of year from work, so I know we are taking off. Oh, and I totally forgot to tell you guys that we're taking a shipping break this week. So any orders that come in now through January 1st, we'll start shipping out on the 2nd. We are still here. We're still around to answer any questions that you may have, but we're just not shipping out anything until January 2nd, just to give us a little bit of time to take a break and enjoy the rest of this holiday season. So I hope you are all having a nice time and getting some relaxing and knitting and crocheting in. I'll see you all again in a couple of weeks. Don't forget that our Charlie Brown Valentine's Day yarn starts, the pre-order starts on Wednesday. And if you have any questions, just leave a comment or reach out to us. All of our contact information is in the description box below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you soon. Bye.